All right, welcome everyone to Max and Ben Talk Hockey, and today we're going to be interviewing forward Zach Benson from the Winnipeg Ice. Zach, how are you?
Good. How are you guys?
We're good. Max, how are you?
Pretty good.
Yeah, so I'm going to start and just say growing up in Chilliwack, describe how it is in Chilliwack, and we know it's a small city, just a really small BCHL team, but how do you get into hockey and why, and how did it lead you to be right here playing for the Ice?
Yeah, I know it's obviously a smaller city, but it's like a hockey city. So most people here play hockey, and my cousin Miracle Buttazzoni, he kind of got me into the game, so I got to thank him for that.
Got it. That's really cool, Max.
Yeah, so leading up to the Phantom draft, you had a really good year in the CSSHL. You had the most points, most assists, and you were like an MVP. So how did you know that was a big year for you, and how did you kind of prepare for that?
Yeah, I knew it was a big year. My training intensity level definitely went up the summer before that, and I played with great teammates at Yale, Joel Plant, Ryan Michaels, Logan Wormold. So yeah, it was a team effort.
Yeah, totally. And why did you decide to join Yale Hockey Academy instead of another team around the area or even in a different province?
I don't know. I think I just there's actually an older guy, Ethan Bowen, who's from Chilliwack. He went to Yale, so I kind of looked up to him growing up, and then I decided to kind of follow in his footsteps.
Yeah, that's really cool. I think Bowen was selected in I think the sixth or seventh round, pretty late by I think it was Anaheim. Yeah, I was about to say Anaheim, and he's turning out really good. So it's really nice that you know Ethan Bowen and that he recommended Yale Hockey Academy, Max.
Yeah, not too many guys are able to put up really good numbers in the rookie year, but not only did you do that, you also had a great second year in the WHL. So kind of what went into that, and obviously how'd you get kind of adjusted to the WHL?
Yeah, obviously, first getting into the league is definitely tough. It's a lot faster than U18. But once I got kind of my dip my toes in the water, and the coaching staff there was really helpful with kind of guiding me through the steps of I don't know, being a good player in the league, and now I'm just looking forward to this upcoming season.
Yeah, totally. And why did you decide to go play in the WHL instead of go to the BCHL like your Team Canada teammate Matthew Wood, and perhaps go and play NCAA Division One?
Yeah, I was definitely weighing both options, but ultimately I chose the Western League route, just based on the development. I feel that the Western League develops a lot of high end players, and that's really the main reason I chose that route.
Gotcha. Max.
Yeah, so you've had I'm sure you've had a lot of great moments in your career. What would you say, possibly other than the Hlinka Gretzky Cup, what would you say is your best moment in your career?
I'd probably say, man, I don't know. Maybe I'd probably say going to the Eastern Conference Finals this year. That was a pretty cool moment, playing in Rogers Place, and then seeing our barn get pretty full and loud there. So that was probably one of the coolest moments I've had.
Yeah, that's a cool one for sure.
Yeah, totally. And speaking of that Eastern Conference team, you got to play with some really great prospects like Connor Geeky, Matt Savoy, and Carson Lambo. So how was it playing with those guys and learning from them? What was it like being in the same locker room?
Yeah, all those guys, they're such good guys. And obviously they're elite players. So yeah, I'd say the main thing is they're all really good guys, and that's I don't know. I don't really know. I could go on about all of them all day, but I'll just leave it at they're really good guys.
Yeah, that's awesome that you get to play with guys with such pedigree. A lot of guys that we interview, some get to play with maybe a second round pick or a third. Some don't even. Some get to play on teams with no picks.
Yeah.
You got lucky. You're with 3 first-round picks, so that's definitely something, Max.
Yeah. So obviously this is a big year for you, going up into the 2023 NHL Draft. A lot of times scouts find different things from different players, but usually there's one thing that every player has that kind of separates them over the other. So what would you say is your greatest strength that separates you from other forwards your age?
I'd probably say my hockey IQ and my vision would probably separate me from the most.
Yeah, those are huge for sure.
Yeah, totally. And kind of on the opposite spectrum, what would be like your weakest points that you think you would need to work on?
I'd probably say I'd say my shot selection. I think I just I got to shoot more, and I got to find better areas to shoot from.
Yeah, that makes sense. A lot of players sometimes they can get a lot of shots on goal, or they don't get that many, but they're kind of from weak areas. So
Yeah.
working towards finding the best places to shoot or when to just pass it up to a teammate, I think that's also important. So we're going to transition into talking about the Hlinka Gretzky Cup. So of course, Zach Benson, you won the Hlinka Gretzky Cup with Team Canada. So how did it feel winning gold and outscoring your opponents? I think it was 34-3 or something like that within the entire tournament.
Yeah.
How'd that feel?
Yeah, it's obviously special. You dream of playing at that stage since you're just a little guy, and then getting to play at that stage is surreal. But to win, and then I guess most people say kind of dominate. It's pretty awesome. We had a pretty special group there.
Yeah, totally, Max.
Yeah, so when did you first know you were going to be on this team, and how many kind of weeks or months, I guess, of training did you guys really were you able to put into this?
Yeah, well, I knew I was going to camp, I would say a month before it started or a couple months before. And then I think there was 44 guys at camp. And then the guys that made the team found out, I believe it was 4 days after the camp. I think the camp was 4 days. So after the 4 days were up, they made the team. And then we got right to work. And I think we had a week to practice before the tournament.
Yeah, and being away from home again, I think you were in Edmonton or Red Deer or one of those or both. I think. How is it being away from home and being with the teammates, and how was like the living and what you guys do outside of play hockey?
Yeah. It was only a couple weeks, so it wasn't too bad. But other than hockey, like we kind of just there was an Xbox there. But other than that, kind of just hung out in our rooms and hung out with each other. Played some card games, played Xbox. Nothing too crazy.
Gotcha, Max. Yeah. So being able to represent the team with the A on your jersey, that's pretty huge. What did that mean and represent for you?
Yeah, obviously, to make the team so special, but to be named to the leadership group is obviously it's unreal. We had everyone in that locker room was a leader, so really anyone could have been wearing that letter, but to be named to the leadership group it was really special.
Yeah, totally. And kind of adding on to the leadership group, why do you think you got selected over the other people on the team? And why do you think that can play into your strengths?
To be honest, obviously I don't really know why they selected me, but I'd say my work ethic was probably a major contributor to that. I don't take a practice off or a drill off, so that's probably one of the main reasons.
Yeah, totally, Max.
Yeah, obviously it's an awesome experience being in a type of tournament like that. But did you think your playing style changed at all, or did you just try to approach it the same way you'd approach a WHL game?
No, I think my philosophy was just to play my game, not change. Even when we're up 10-0 versus a team like Switzerland, I just wanted to keep playing my game. Because I knew later down in the tournament that I was going to need to play my game to be successful, so I didn't want to switch it up.
Yeah, that makes sense. And in terms of who else was on the team, like how did it feel playing with guys from across the country? So of course you got the guys from the WHL and you play against them regularly. But as a feel to play with guys from the Q and the O and even the junior A leagues where you don't really get to see them too often. And did you know them before this tournament at all, or was it kind of just you walked in the locker room and you're like, oh hey, I'm Zach?
Yeah, obviously it's special to meet those players. They're all obviously elite players. And then I knew some from the Capital City Challenge that we did the year prior, but other than that, I probably say I didn't know half the team. I knew everyone basically from the Western League. Played with Andrew Crystal for probably 8 to 9 years growing up. And Tanner Molendijk, obviously, I played with him at the Yale Bantam Prep team, CSSHL. But other than that, there is a lot of new faces.
Got it. And who were your line mates at the tournament?
I played with Braden Yeager and Gauthier.
They're both WHL. I know Jaeger's WHL. I don't know.
Yeah, Goats is from the Q. He played for Sherbrooke. I don't know. Phoenix.
Yeah, the Phoenix. Yeah, that's a pretty good program. We haven't interviewed someone from there yet. Max?
Yeah, internationally, there's a lot of forwards and defensemen that kind of have different styles than they do. I guess that you're used to over in Canada. So is that something you guys kind of did video review on, or did you kind of just go into games and be like, "Wow, we're gonna adapt as the game goes on"?
No, our coaching staff did an unreal job preparing us for the games. Like you said, every team was kind of differently structured, and yeah, there's definitely a couple teams who were, I don't know, I would say I haven't seen the style before, but obviously the style works for them. So yeah, it was definitely a little weird to play some of their structures, but end of the day, our coaches did a great job preparing us.
Yeah, totally. And how did it feel seeing and playing against visible underagers? So there are guys from the Hlinka Cup whose draft year is in 2024. Your teammate Tanner Howe, I believe, is in that category. But also the projected number 1 overall pick in 2024, Aaron Kivihiru from Sweden or from Finland. I don't know if you got to play against him or not, but how does it feel to play against or to play with and against those underagers? And what can you say about, I guess, also your teammate Tanner Howe and how hard he works to be able to get the spot as an underager?
Yeah, we played against the Kiviharu kid. He's ridiculous. There's a reason he's projected that high. His skills through the roof. And then Howie was actually my roommate in Red Deer. He's a great guy, and he works his tail off, and his skills through the roof. Obviously, being named to the team, but no, he's a special player.
Yeah, totally, Max.
Yeah, would you say that the goaltending, is it more difficult to beat some of these goalies that you played against than in the WHL, or would you say overall it's about the same?
I would say it's similar. Obviously, there's goalies in the Western League who are elite goalies, and obviously everyone that was at the Hlinka tournament was an elite goalie too. So I would say it's pretty similar.
Yeah, totally. And finally, what can you say about the coaching staff that you had at Team Canada, and how do you think they helped you prepare the best for every game and especially to win gold?
Yeah, they were a great group. Alatang, Chris Millette, and Stefan Julian. They're definitely first-class coaches, and they got the jobs for a reason. They had us prepared for every game. Going against Switzerland, we knew they're maybe a little bit weaker of a team, but they drilled in our head that we got to just play our way and keep our habits and don't let it slip. So yeah, they're definitely a great group of coaches.
Totally, Max.
Yeah, I think overall Canada's got to be one of the strongest hockey countries without a doubt. So I think when you kind of came in, I'm sure some teams were kind of shaken already before you even got on the ice, but you guys obviously came in with some confidence, but do you guys think you had to settle that before the game started, or did you kind of go into that game with that confidence?
Yeah, I think we had to go into the game. Actually, we had kind of a thing that we went by, and it was be at 5. And that's kind of meaning you don't want to get too high on yourself, and you don't want to get too low on yourself. So before every game, our coach would kind of just say, be at 5 tonight, and that kind of just meant go into the game with an open mindset, and anything can happen.
Yeah, that's an awesome way to think of it.
Yeah, it's a really good way to think of it, and I think that can work in any sport. I know definitely in hockey, be at 5 definitely works. When I played hockey in my league, there were definitely some teams that would surprise us every so often, and our coach never told us like the be at 5. I think that's an original way to say it, but don't let them get into your head and just play how you've been playing, and eventually you'll win, and you'll grind them down. And I think that speaks to how good your coaches are, that they just tell you to not change anything up, because there are coaches that will change things up to play against every different team. So I think that's just a testament to how good your coaches are.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Max?
Yeah, weird question. Do you guys get to keep the jerseys that you guys play with, and are you going to frame that or something?
Yeah, we keep the Jays. I'm not sure what I guess I gave my jersey to my parents, so whatever they decide to do with it, I guess that's going to be what's happening.
Yeah, and what did you do with the medal that you got, obviously?
Right now it's I think it's in my room. I'm pretty sure it's in my room.
Gotcha. That's cool though. Max?
Yeah, I think that's it for me. I don't know if you have any more, man.
Oh yeah, I mean, just one more. What was like the cool pregame tradition that you guys would do, or if there was any? If not, then I guess there's.
Cool pregame. We didn't really have. We were pretty strict. We definitely didn't take any game light. So I wouldn't say there's any cool pregame. We just did like the exact same stuff every time. But other than that, there's nothing really that cool.
Gotcha. Well, that's gonna do it for us today, Zach. Thanks so much for the interview.
Alrighty, thank you guys.
Yeah, of course. And obviously, please like and subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to us. And stay